그야말로 테란 대 저그전 스웨드는 자꾸 이런 양상이거든요.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to set number 2. This is going to be Fat Kid versus, Hansen versus Bisu. Okay, that was actually really mean. But it's like, I don't know, he kind of looks like Jelizerg, except he's probably bad at StarCraft. I feel kind of bad for this guy. Anyways, man, I gotta say, I think that grudge match that I casted has still kind of not worn off yet. I'm still in like super BM mode a little bit. We actually need to fix this. So, anyway, there is Bisu, making up for Hansen's not so attractiveness with amazing hair. So Bisu overall in the season though, he's 6'3". He does not have the most amazing record, but he's still Bisu. He's still pretty good. And although, actually, wait a minute, wasn't one of his losses against the Terran? Didn't he lose to Bogus? I want to say Bogus. Maybe? Alright, good. Ket says it's Bogus. I believe Ket. It's like crazy Bisu fangirl. I'm just kidding. Are you, Ket? Anyways. So, not really liking Hansen's chances here. He's kind of like a random Terran guy. I think in FPL he was worth 1 point. He was one of the 1-pointers, so against the 10-point Bisu, not very good odds. But who knows? It is going to be on Sniper Ridge, which I believe gives him a slight edge, just in the map balance. And well, here we go. Let's see what Hansen can do. Now, I think it's pretty important for him to win this match as well, because if he loses, SKT is going to be up 2-0, 2-0 against Stars. And that would be a pretty rough spot for whoever comes out next. Anyway, it looks like Hansen is going to be in the top left as the, what was that, yellow? White? Okay, looks like he's white. White Terran. And Bisu will be the purple Protoss, as you see. And by the way, it looks like he's changed his ID to just Sin. On the overlay here, it's just got like Sin in all caps. I don't know if you like think that's cool or something. Anyways, yeah. I actually was about to start telling a story and I just completely lost my train of thought. Because somebody in my Pro League commentary thread thing was like, Sale, you should tell more stories. So I was about to start telling a story, but I forgot. Ah. All right, I'll think of it. I'll remember at some point today. Anyway, there's something at the bottom right that says SKT Protoss 14-7. So does that mean like Bisu, Best, and Sun are 14-7 this season or something like that? Huh. I guess it means something like that. Anyways, there is a non-white couple. You know, I think at this point it's like, because the Korean camera guys, they keep showing, you know, non-Korean people. It's actually rarer to see a random Korean couple on camera. So we need to play the reverse game, just play Spot the Korean in the OGN studio. So we do have a barracks and gas, standard stuff in Hansen's main. Cross positions are, let's see, how does that play out? Not really sure. All the interesting games that I'm like thinking of in my head have been close positions. Like I remember, what was it? C against some Protoss. but C actually, I think C was like bottom left and the Protoss was bottom right. And C, like, he pushes across the map and he actually takes the middle expansion as like a legitimate expansion, which I thought was really interesting. And I suppose if you're cross positions, you can do something similar. I'm not sure if it's quite as good an idea. Actually, I'm not even sure if it's a good idea, period, considering C did it and he's terrible against Protoss. But, anyways, looks like we got 2 guys on gas, which is interesting. Usually when you're doing an FD, you can just have 1 guy. Because you're just going to make 1 siege tank and get mines, and then you don't actually need that much gas for a while, because you're just making vultures after that, and the command center. So 2 guys on gas is quite interesting, and you can see the observer is highlighting that. There is best. Kind of a sheepish grin on his face. And we do have 2 Marines out blocking the ramp. And what is this SCV doing? Is he going to make a starport? What are you doing, Mr. SCV? It is a second factory. Okay. Second factory hidden at the south side. Very interesting. So it's actually a 2-fact from Hansen, which is why he was mining the second, or why he had the second SCV on the gas. And, you know, on the one hand, I think it's probably a good idea that he's doing something a little bit cheesy against Bisu. On the other hand, they are in cross positions, which does not favor the 2-fact. It's going to give Bisu that much more time to, you know, micro against it and prepare. So, you know, I don't really see this ending too well for Hansen, although it does look like Bisu has gone for the 1-gate expand, so it's going to take some pretty good Dragoon micro to hold off this 2-fact. I'm actually interested to see if Hansen actually pulls any SCVs to go with it. Or rather, I'm pretty sure he will pull like a couple, but he might just go crazy and like pull 5 SCVs. That'd be quite funny. And I mean, you know, in fact, I think going for 2-fact is also not a good idea because of the map architecture, because you can see there's a lot of ridges and whatnot in between the bases, so it's very easy for goons to just like kind of camp on the ridge, take a few pot shots, and then when the units get too close, they just run away and retreat to the next ridge. So it allows the Protoss to buy a lot of time. Now, Bisu sees a decent number of Marines, but so far it could still be just a standard FD. He doesn't know 100% that this is a 2-fact just yet. So, you know, so far, you know, he's probably in fact expecting an FD, because that is, you know, kind of the go-to build nowadays in TVP. Besides, I guess if you're either like 1-racks expanding or you're gonna go in FD basically in TVP. And oh, looks like 1 vulture trying to sneak around the side. A probe does see it, and it will get through. That could be quite crucial. Although it looks like it already spent 2 of its spider mines. It will only have 1 spider mine. I think it might have actually been better for Hansen if he saved the other 2 spider mines. Then he could lay some spider mines on the retreat path of Dragoons. So while Bisu was retreating from the push, he would just run straight into spider mines and lose a bunch of units. And oh, he might still do that. Oh. No, Bisu barely evades a spider mine. I don't know if he actually saw that being planted with that other Dragoon in the back, but that was, I don't know if that was luck or just, well, I guess even if he saw it, that'd be a little bit lucky. Anyway, there's the Stars coach looking a little bit concerned. Anyway, and it looks like we will have 3 SCVs to go with the push. It is a 3 siege tank, something like 5 or 6 Marines, and rallied vultures with this push. Now, Bisu's 3 gateways have just finished. He does have a robotics facility with observatory, so we'll be able to get some observers for these spider mines. And this push feels quite late to me. Hansen waited a long time before moving out, but Bisu is not actually aware that the push is even coming. I think he had nothing spotting it. Oh my goodness, Bisu! The first thing he's gonna know, you know. The first he's going to see of this push is all these siege tanks kind of knocking on his front door. That is actually a lot of vultures here. Hansen might try and run around the Dragoons and lay some spider mines in their retreat path while the rest of the units come up. Here we go. How good is Bisu's control going to be? Oh my god, the mines are going to hit. A lot of mines hitting those leading Dragoons. Bisu could be in a lot of trouble right here. You can see it on his face. He was not happy about that mine hit. The siege tanks are moving in here. There are vultures being rallied off of 2 factories. The probes are coming off to help out. It looks like siege mode has finished as well, but is it going to be enough? The probes are coming off to help out. 1 siege tank does go down. 2 Dragoons remain, but 2 Dragoons do go down. Hansen looks like he might actually take out Bisu here. Bisu is going to get killed by a random 1-pointer from Woongjin Stars. Oh my goodness, Bisu Bisu, what is happening in Pro League? Oh god, all the top players failing except for, I guess, Flash. Only God himself can actually play to everybody's expectations. Hansen, he's taking down the natural. There is no way for Bisu to save that anymore between the mines and the siege tanks behind. I'm really not sure what he can do anymore. I think he might just have to stay back in his base a bit and just mass up and go for a break, or because I don't see a support bait. A lot of times what happens when the Protoss scouts something like this, or starts to lose their natural, is they immediately throw down the robotic support bait and make a Reaver and try and do some like counter Reaver harassment, or just use good Reaver micro to break the contain. But it looks like he's just going to try it with pure units here, just go for Zealots. Perhaps that's a better idea, because it would take a long time for the Reaver to come out. Well, there goes the Nexus, and an engineering bay is being made. A bunker as well. There's no Marines there, though, that I can see. And Hansen smartly picking off all of the Spider Mines. I think that might have been an overreaction, actually. The Spider Mines that he picked off were quite far away from his siege tanks, but of course he did that to avoid getting mine-bombed by his own Spider Mines. If Bisu drops one of those Zealots there in range of the mines, he could have blown up a lot of Vultures. But, well, Hansen is just reinforcing this contain right now. Super hard contain against Bisu. I really think Bisu should have thought about going for a Reaver and just kind of sitting back a bit and trying to do some harassment, because I don't think Hansen actually has anything in his base. He's got 3 Marines there. Oh, I think that might actually be a misrally. Oh, no, never mind. It looks like there was a Reaver. I'm sorry. I don't recall seeing a support bay. Maybe the observer actually clicked it and I'm just like retarded, but Bisu actually did get a Reaver, although it looks like it doesn't even matter. Or does it? Oh my god, Bisu! Bisu's actually breaking this. The Reaver gets taken down, but Bisu's actually taken down all the siege tanks. It looks like the last Dragoon isn't going to get taken down. Hansen, what have you done? Hansen! See, oh my god, okay, what happened with those Marines was Hansen forgot to re-rally his barracks to the front, so there were 3 Marines at the top of his ramp because he still had his rally point there, and that's why he had an empty bunker as part of the contain. If he had those 3 Marines, this could have looked a lot different, but as it stands, Bisu might actually break it. He went for a mine drag there, but I think Hansen actually targeted down that mine. Very nice target, but he's only got 1 siege tank left, 2 Dragoons against 2 SCVs and 3 Marines. It looks like, oh no, the Red Dragoon is not getting targeted down. 1 more siege tank coming in. This is so close, actually. Because, I mean, Hansen, he's got no expansion. I'm sure his SCV count is, comparable, if not lower than Bisu's probe count still. So Hansen really needs this attack to work. He needs a 2-fact to kill Bisu right now, or he could be in a lot of trouble. How? Oh my god, Hansen! Hansen, what have you done? He's just expanding now. Hansen! If you look at the supplies, he's at 36 supply against 53 supply for Bisu. Oh god, Hansen! Hansen, what have you done? How did you do this? He's even gonna lose the engineering base. It's gonna burn down like outside the Protoss base. He's gonna see this Nexus being remade. These Vultures could be a little bit annoying. But look at Bisu's probe saturation right there. Look at how many probes he has. Man, that's like a swarming anthill. That's actually a little bit creepy. Although what that does mean is that his main is actually looking a little bit thin on minerals already. So he's going to need that natural. Oh! Whoa! Oh my god, what? Just Bisu. Wow, both players kind of making some mistakes here. Bisu just running the probes into that spider mine. Wait, but his Nexus isn't even finished yet, though, is he? That seems a little bit early for the transfer. I don't know, maybe his Nexus is finished, though. No, it looks like it is mining there, so it looks like it is finished. Anyway, a Goliath is out now, but the shuttle is going in. He has to drop something. He has to drop. Looks like he does drop a Dragoon to tank the shots, and he's going to fly away now with the shuttle. He's trying to do some counter harassment here. I assume there is a second Reaver in that shuttle. Of course, he did lose the first one, breaking the push. Or breaking the contain, rather. And it looks like Bisu has taken a third Nexus, rather. Just gonna use this Reaver to help secure that. Anyways, looks like Barracks Sky floating out. There's an observer, of course, checking out the front of the natural, and a couple more Vultures running out to harass. Perhaps they were actually trying to snipe a probe before it could make a third base, but unfortunately it's already down. There was the beginnings of a pylon wall there, but poor little probe guy didn't actually manage to finish that. Of course, Bisu doesn't want to build that preemptively, because if you notice his supply, it's at 71 of 98, so some people will just like throw down the pylons anyway just to finish off the wall, but that is actually a little bit inefficient if you don't really need the supply. So Bisu just held off on the pylons just a little bit there. So it's kind of a minor detail, but you know, that's what separates the Mega Gosus like Bisu and Flash from the rest. Or I guess from the A-class pro gamers. Anyways, we do have 2 more factories being constructed for Hansen. So that would just give him standard 4-fact here going into the mid-game. Looks like he won't try any kind of crazy 6-fact 2-base all-in or something. And I think that's smart since there is an observer in his base, so Bisu would just see that anyway. Looks like we do have a forge as well as a couple more gateways down for Bisu. That is pretty standard to get your forge around the time your 3rd base finishes. You don't need it too early. I mean, upgrades in PBT aren't really quite as crucial as they are in other matchups, and you don't want to be investing in early photon cannons at all. You really would rather have Dragoons kind of wandering around the map. Anyways, looks like a couple more Vultures going to run around here. Hansen seems to just like doing very, very light Vulture harass, just sending out 2 Vultures at a time here. You know, no crazy, you know, 8 or 10 Vulture run-bys, although I guess he just doesn't have that many Vultures anyway. So that could also be a reason. Looks like Bisu forgetting to rally a gateway there. Anyways, looks like some Sea Shanks and Goliaths are moving out now. The Observer's going to see this. There's like no Vultures with this push, which is very, very dangerous, aka bad. You need some Vultures to buffer for the Siege Tanks. Pure Siege Tank is actually, well, I mean, unless you have like, you know, 50 Siege Tanks. If you have this low number of Siege Tanks, like less than a control group, if you don't have any, you know, buffering units, it's actually not that good at all, as good as Siege Tanks are. But it looks like Bisu actually doesn't quite have enough to engage just yet. I think that might have been a better engagement angle if he'd been able to run onto the cliff and start shooting those tanks. But anyway, it looks like he's going to go in here. And oh my god, that was a great mine hit on all those Dragoons. Wow. Bisu might still be in trouble, yet it looks like actually, never mind, this timing was good. A nice couple of Reaver shots on those tanks, but the Reaver does go down, but there are 4 Zealots running into the midst of the Siege Tanks. It's going to be very, very close, but as I said, without any Vulture support here, Hansen's just going to lose everything. It looks like, though, he is doing a nice job targeting down those Dragoons. I'm pretty sure a lot of those were actually manual targets on the Dragoons, rather than on the Zealots that would, of course, splash his own units. And it looks like it's going to actually be more or less an army trade here between the two, but I do think that favors Bisu right now. He does have the 3 bases. He's got 6 gateways up. His gas mining seems a little bit low. He's only got 1 guy on the natural gas, nothing on the 3rd gas. But if we look at his bank, it's actually because he's got like an extra 500 plus gas in the bank right now, so that's probably intentional. Anyway, Hansen is going to continue with this attack, but I think that's a terrible idea. He's only got 2 Sea Shanks left. Like, I don't know what he thinks he can do with that. He's also not mining his natural gas. Now, that I don't think is intentional, because right now he has a lot more minerals than gas. Anyway, he's just running in with some Vultures, trying to be annoying. He's getting some decent mine hits, and meanwhile is still continuing to attack this 3rd base of Bisu, sieging up as well. But this shuttle probably has 4 Zealots in it, and luckily for him, at least there was no mine bombs. But actually, Bisu has run out of units. This is a ridiculously back and forth game. I don't even know how to call this anymore. I keep calling it the wrong direction, and Bisu, this is actually a very difficult position for him to engage now. As you can see, there's just that narrow choke point between that ramp outside his natural and his 3rd base, and I mean, you know, everything else, if he engages higher up there, he will be going from low ground up to high ground against siege tanks. Hansen doing a nice clump of the siege tanks. That's actually good in this position, so that your tanks don't splash each other. But, oh, whoa, did that Reaver shot go off? I'm not even sure. That Reaver, though, could be so crucial here in this defense. It looks like it does take down one of the siege tanks, but Bisu is getting very short on unit. He still has the Reaver, though. The Reaver could take out all the clump siege tanks. No, he actually targets the Vultures instead. Interesting choice by Bisu. I don't know if that was intentional or the Reaver just shot a Scarab randomly, but it looks like he's going to do a lot of damage here. All the Vultures are gone, and Bisu, that might have actually been the correct choice. All of the buffering Vultures are gone, although a lot of units are being rallied. But it's still only off 4 factories against the 6 gateway rally of Bisu. This is just such an intense and close battle. Hansen is like 10 supply behind Bisu. It's 58 against 68. Of course, Bisu has a few more probes. Army-wise, it's got to be very, very close. It's kind of down to Bisu's Reaver control here. He still has his Reaver. The Reaver, where's he going to drop it? No, he's trying to do a mine drag. What else is in the shuttle? Actually, wait, no, did the Reaver die? I think the Reaver might have died. I don't even know what's going on anymore. But Hansen is just being so aggressive right now. Relentless aggression in this push. I just constantly rallying units to the front here. Hopefully he has I think he must have a couple more factories done by now, and it looks like, oh, whoa, the probes are stacked. Wow, there are 17 kills between those two siege tanks. That is a lot, and it looks like Bisu actually might be either going for a counterattack or just trying to cut off some reinforcements here. I'm not really sure. Light and Free are actually giggling there. I'm not I'm not sure if this is the time to be giggling. I mean, Hansen does seem to be in a pretty good position right now. They seem to be quite happy about something. I guess just lolling at the fact that Hansen is giving Bisu such a good game here. Anyways, the supplies are now dead even, 76 to 76. Bisu loses his third expansion there, and I mean he's got a few stranded probes, something like 8 stranded probes at the base. He's mined out at his main. He is only mining from his natural. He's not even mining the gas there. Oh, that's because he has 900 gas banked right now. And it looks like he is going for a counter drop with the Reaver. The turret at the natural actually is not quite finished yet. He could do a lot of damage, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Oh, and there goes the Reaver. The SCVs are not running away. Adiba! Oh, nice shot there. Hansen does not notice. Okay, it looks like now he notices. And he's going to actually, or rather, Bisu's going to take advantage of this this distraction to attack. But look at that position for Hansen. It is such a good position. And Bisu, although it looks like Hansen actually getting mined out in his main, and no sign of third base yet for Hansen. Hansen might be a little bit all in on this attack, in fact. And he's transferring SCVs into a Reaver. The Reaver gets taken down. It does get one last big shot, though, on the SCVs. This is still... I mean, Hansen, I'm pretty sure, is still in a great position here, but both players are really getting mined out. Although, look at that contain, though. Hansen with a sick contain on Bisu right now, but he's got to be very, very careful not to overcommit. In fact, Day9 actually made a specific podcast kind of related to this situation where the Terran's kind of doing this hardcore contain. You know, if you overcommit to it, and you take too much damage from the Reaver, it is certainly possible to still lose the game. But, I mean, Bisu did lose the Reaver. He's bringing the shuttle back now. And, I mean, I think he'll probably just, you know, load up 4 Zealots, go for one final break attempt with the shuttle. And it'll probably fail, and then he'll GG. I'm gonna call it, even though I have just, like, miscalled this game already three or four times. I'm gonna go for that. Okay, looks like he's actually gonna make another Reaver, so it'll be 2 Zealots and a Reaver. And let's see how he can do here. I don't know. That's leading engineering, by the way. Look at that, he's tanking so many Dragoon shots. Look at that, most of the Dragoons actually caught on the engineering bay. Bisu not moving his Dragoons forward. Look at that, half the Dragoons stuck on the engineering bay. All the Zealots get taken down. The Reaver gets taken down. Bisu is completely dead here. He's going to lose everything. There is no chance. GG! Hansen takes out Bisu in set number 2, evening up the score 1-1. Bisu is shocked that he held off the 2-fact and then just gets killed by this, like, infinite push from Hansen. Wow. Look at the Stars coach. So happy with his boy. July Terran. And certainly playing like Jelizerg does with that kind of aggression. July Terran it is, guys. July Terran it is. Oh man, what a turn of events here. Bisu taken down by Hansen. Alright, let's go to the next game.
이런 느낌의 패색이 짙은 그런 분위기에서